My name is Madison from Religion 301, and I'm doing my video on the tribe of Manasseh, which I know nothing about. I know it's sort of like the Jewish faith, but other than that, I don't really know anything. So I have Rachel here, who's part of the tribe of Manasseh.
Okay, she's correct in saying that it is like the Jewish faith. The only thing different is we don't observe Hanukkah. Well, actually, that's not the only thing different. But we actually have Passover, and we have the Festival of Trumpets, which is kind of like our Christmas, which is in like September rather than in December. And the religion is actually based on the 12 original tribes that came out of Israel back in, the olden days. So what questions do you have about the religion exactly that I can answer?
Because I'm a Christian, Jesus plays a huge role
Right.
in my religion, and he's the Messiah and everything.
Yeah.
So how does he play a role in your religion?
Okay. It's kind of funny, but on like cars, you see those bumper stickers that say like "Jews for Jesus." We're like that group. So we have Jesus as the Messiah, which is what makes us different. Like that's why we don't celebrate Christmas, but we have a different Christmas because the Christian faith religion for Christmas celebration is in December based on a different translation of the Bible, and ours is an interpretation that puts it in September rather than December. So we still see Jesus as the Messiah. We just have him on a different. We just have his birthday on a different day.
Okay. And where do you worship? In a temple or?
We have like a church. We had a church called the United Church of God, and it was there was two of them. One was in Texas, and one of them was in London, Kentucky. And the one in Texas was actually burnt down by some people that thought we were Satanists or something. And the one that's in London disbanded. We had one preacher that was still like a devout follower of the religion, and he died in 1990, which was the year I was born. And then we got some more that were followers, but they kept changing it until finally they just all converted to Christianity, except for a select few. But we don't actually have a church to go to anymore, so we have home worship.
Do you have what book do you use?
It's just like the Bible. I mean, there's different versions of the Torah that some people like take examples of, but it's mainly just the Bible, and we just interpret it different. Like most of the Bible's made up of metaphors, and a lot of people will say, well, that means this thing, but we think it means something else. So
I think that's interesting because I read the Bible and everything, and seeing that you come from that is kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely.
So do you really get to experience a whole lot with Tribe of Manasseh?
Yeah, definitely. I think that actually we have a more study version of a religion than a lot of religions. Like Christianity, usually when people are brought into it, they're told this way, this way, this way. And then our religion, we're told to go and read it and interpret our own way, kind of thing. So there's a lot of different interpretations for the Bible, especially among our group. But we have like a strict observation rule, which means that you don't celebrate holidays, because celebration's only used for you celebrate God, but you don't celebrate holidays. So we only have Thanksgiving because we don't see it as a holiday. We just see it as a day where you give thanks.
Okay. Heaven and hell, what's your take on that?
We don't have heaven or hell. We have when you die, you will wait. You are taken like an eternal sleep, and you wait, and then Jesus brings you back to life whenever he comes back.
Okay, so like when the second coming.
The second coming, right?
Okay.
He brings everyone back to life.
What is the most important thing in the tribe of Manasseh?
I think one of the most important things that people need to know about it is it is a lot like Jewish, but we do have Jesus. And so I tell some Christians and stuff that I have that, and they're automatically like, oh, that's horrible because you don't have Jesus, blah, blah, blah. Well, and then I tell them oh, but, we're Jews for Jesus. And they're like, oh, awesome. So probably that, and the fact that, we just have a different interpretation, which is what makes us different. So.
Do you know how many, people are in...
of our group? We had our churches, we used to have this thing called the feast, and the feast was the Feast of Trumpets, which is our Christmas kind of, our holiday, which represents Christmas. There's no presents. It's just a big festival where everybody gets together and has kind of like Thanksgiving. but it was for the entire church.
Mm-hmm.
And we would have it in different locations. Like we had it in like Georgia once, and we had it in like North Carolina. But since our church is disbanded, we don't have it anymore. But the last time we had it, it was around 500 people, I think, that came from all around. But a lot of them were family members that aren't actually of the religion. Okay, so we have a really small.
So it's small.
It's very small, yeah.
So there's a big important thing in April with bread.
Right. Okay. So this, you're probably familiar with the story of Moses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So do you remember? Have you watched The Prince of Egypt? The movie? No. Okay. Do you know the story of Moses where he was raised in Egypt, blah blah blah, and then whenever the plague, they had the 3 plagues that came or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Or whatever they were, and one of the most important one to show that you need to believe in God and everything was the killing of the firstborn son, which they call Passover, and like it would come through and it would kill the firstborn son if you didn't follow the rules, and the rules were like you're supposed to put cow's blood or sheep's blood over the door, and kind of rusty with everything, but so you put sheep's blood over the door, and then if you do, then you're devout. Well, no, whatever.
Right.
And then it passes over you, kind of thing. But if you didn't, and like Moses' adopted brother, he didn't do it because he didn't believe in it, and it killed his firstborn son. So whatever. But anyways, the Hebrews that were traveling out of Jerusalem at that time, going to the Holy Land or whatever, or out of Egypt to Jerusalem, sorry, they actually were given very few resources to travel with. And one of the things they weren't given was yeast, and so they had to make it do. So just basically to commemorate their journey and their strife, we have a month where we don't eat bread with yeast in it. Just to, kind of like where Catholics that have Lent and they give up something.
Yeah.
Kind of like that, but we just, it's just strictly for bread.
Okay. And me being Catholic, we have communion every Sunday. Do you do anything like that?
No, we don't have communion. Like, we understand that, in the Bible it says, like, Jesus' body is bread.
Yeah.
Okay. But, we just, like, observe that as a rule, but we don't do it.
Okay.
A lot of our religion isn't literal.
Right. So you do the metaphors. You
Yeah.
take things as the metaphors.
Yeah, not literal.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to share with?
We're kosher, which means that that's another really strictly Jewish thing where we can't eat anything that's unkosher, which is a lot of meats, such as we can't eat pork, we can't eat a lot of seafood, we can't eat anything that's like the rabbi originally in the Bible deemed as unclean. There's a list in the Bible, and you can look it up and find it online, but it's got basically like there's some poultry, but it's really like bald eagles on the list. Not like we'd eat bald eagle, but that's on the list. And all reptiles, most seafood. You can eat like tuna, but you can't eat crustaceans or shellfish. And you can eat deer, and you can eat cow, but you can't eat like horse. Not that people do. And so we have that, and then no, what else? Oh, I got one. We also don't vote because we don't vote. We don't even register to vote. We don't participate in governmental issues because we say that it's God's divine selection, that He decides it.
So whatever happens
based on what He decided.
Okay.
So no one's registered, if you're part of the religion, you're not supposed to register to vote.
And prayers, like how does that work?
Like I guess we pray like normal people. I guess we have a different day of prayer. Normally it's Sunday, but our version, or how we interpret the Bible, it says that it's on the last day of the week. And since Sunday is actually the first day of the week, our day of rest is actually on Saturday. Okay. So on Saturday, back whenever we were more strict in the religion, which is it has became a lot more lenient since the original preacher guy died. And back when he was still alive, we weren't allowed to do anything on Saturday that wasn't from the book. You couldn't use electronics, and we also didn't have you couldn't use hair dye or makeup, or you weren't supposed to cut your hair. It was kind of very Jehovah's Witness. Mm-hmm. And then also we didn't celebrate birthdays back then either. but since then it's became more lenient, and it's more birthdays is more now we say it's like an observation.
Right.
Yeah, but celebration apparently we just can't do that. So.
Okay. So it kind of seems like you're a mixture of a little bit of
so many things.
Right.
Yeah, and our religion, at least a lot of like I've done a lot of research in it since I've gotten older, and I think it plays right into spirituality too, because we've got a lot of, since there's a lot of interpretations in the Bible, we have, and a lot of people I found in the religion are really strict when it comes to talking about spirits. Like according to our religion, there are no ghosts. There's just demons and angels, and the good beings that come to you are angels, and the bad ones are demons, according to the whatever. But I think that there, like, different people's interpretations, and as I said, our religion is kind of open to interpretation as well, because that's what it is an interpretation. And so I think spirituality is really good, and when playing into it.
Yeah. How does the tribe of Manasseh go about good and bad?
Like good and evil?
Yeah, and like sinning.
We'll see, like, let's see. You're not supposed to, it's not like, they say that some people say that everything's a sin. We don't have that. So, like, I mean, there are sins, there's good and bad, and you're supposed to do good. But basically, overall, if it makes you happy inside, then you're supposed to do it. As far as, like major social issues, I don't really know our religion's view on abortion. But we are very, like, on homosexuality, for instance, the Jewish people in general are open to women more than men, because I think the men is a spilling of the seed, and so that they're not really open to that.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's...
Anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So now looking at the tribe of Manasseh, it's really interesting since I'm a Christian and since she believes in Jesus. That's neat because, that's one thing that we can really connect on. Them not really celebrating anything, Christians are very big on celebration, like with Easter and Christmas and all of those things. So that was definitely different for me to hear. And I really liked learning about it because it's pretty different, but it's definitely pretty awesome.